Evil old gods, rituals, waiting for the stars. It's about as tevinter as blood magic and hubris. Learning about the gods' plans is wonderful, of course. But the lists of magisters you got your hands on, now there's the real gold.
You've looked at it already. Of course you have.
Information on their backers, the ties to illegal slavery. Don't you see what this means?
This is power, May. Imagine becoming Archon and using this against those who've been hurting the people for years.
You, on the throne? Dorian.
Tell me that wouldn't be a splendid way to bring about real change.
The Shadow Dragons have heard that before. After Corypheus with the Lucerni. We expose corruption and stop slavers, but nothing really changes. What makes you think it'll be different this time?
Surely you're not suggesting we give up entirely. After all, you're still here. The rot in tevinter is buried deep. We've been digging it out bit by bit, only for it to grow back. But what you've given us allows us to strike at the heart.
So the rot has no chance to return. But how would you use this information exactly?
Dorian wants to use it to crush our enemies by whatever means necessary. I prefer to use it to rally the people. I say we make the information known. Allow the people to see the real justice served. Prove that from now on, we work for them.
We tried that already. Or have you forgotten the Lucerni? I no longer trust that political machine will work in our favor. No. We must get at the root of the problem before they can react. A more forceful approach. Destroy them and their networks utterly.
Swords and spies and blackmail? The devious means you learned in the South? If we go outside the system, we invite everyone else to do the same. No, we have to do this in the open. Show the people of tevinter that we're here for them.
We're shadow...
It's basically the Alec versus Rana debate all over again. Except instead of talking about a single criminal, we're talking about a whole network of mess.
Dragons, it's right there in the name. You supported this because you knew the system didn't work for the people.
The point was to work in the shadows until we could work in the light. And Rook has brought us what we need.
May, the Imperium's politics burned you once and you still...
Enough. We're not the only ones who have a stake in this. Rook, we're talking about your city. Your tevinter too. Which strategy do you prefer?
Shouldn't you be on the same side?
We are on the same side. We both know what tevinter needs. How best to get it, that's the question.
If we went with Dorian's plan, I'd support it fully. But we won't, because he'll come around and realize that I'm right.
And I'd absolutely back you up on that, if you were right, which you aren't.
We'll see.
Will we?
What sort of change are you trying to achieve?
For a start, slavery. Abhorrent. It needs to go no more.
And tevinter has been ruled by the Altus mages for all of its history. That must change. The Zoparati, non-mages, deserve a say in their own governance.
And all that's just the beginning of what will undoubtedly be a long journey.
Dorian, are you really suggesting violent revolution?
Not necessarily. Sometimes a mere threat of violence is sufficient.
He learned that from his friends in the South. I hear Ferelden settled a succession crisis with a duel.
It worked. Astoundingly.
We're not Ferelden.
I'm merely saying we
Dragon Age Origins reference?
need to consider bold and creative methods of achieving our ends. The game is rigged. Why play by rules crooked magisters already exploit? Clear the board and start over. If they're gone, we can fill the magisterium with those who respect the office. Then we'll actually see progress.
Minrathous, you really believe making this evidence public will work?
Dorian wants to work behind the scenes, but once again, it's the Magisters and Highbloods pulling the Imperium's strings. That doesn't inspire. It's a tactic used by our enemies. We need to show tevinter that we can be different.
Unless they find some way to bury it? Or leverage their wealth, power, and status as they often have before?
Politics is a long game. If we use force against our enemies, our allies will remember it.
Looks like I don't have to choose regardless, because it's true, I cannot choose the Archon.
You want me to choose who'll be Archon? Sure, I'm a shadow dragon, but there are so many others here.
Then talk to them. Ask what they think. Asher and Tarquin, Nev, Gallus, they're all a part of this, just as you are. We should all be comfortable with whatever course we take.
All right, I'll go do that.
No biggie, just gotta choose the whole friggin' Archon.
Grand news about Lenos. One less crooked Templar in town.
The city will be better off with him gone.
We can hope.
Lenos made my life miserable. Rana's too.
I hear he started out different. Maybe he once cared about something other than gold. But I didn't know that, Lenos. And I'm not gonna mourn the one I did. Still, I'll thank the bastard for writing everything down and delivering it to us all neat.
Dorian and Minrathous still have to decide what to do with everything we got from Lenos.
Then they asked for my opinion. Can you believe it?
You're a shadow dragon. Of course they asked you.
After all that talk about people needing a voice, I'd be looking at them sideways if they didn't.
I suspect this decision will determine Tevinter's path for years to come.
Then Dorian's way is my choice. He knows you don't stop to talk when you find a hole in the enemy's defenses.
Dorian is a brash rebel.
And Minrathous,
Why does it not surprise me that Tarquin and Viper are on opposite sides of this particular discussion? They bicker like an old married couple.
too much of a romantic.
I think the people will appreciate Minrathous returning as the leader they've always wanted to see.
No. They'll appreciate their lives actually changing for the better.
What do you think might happen depending on who leads?
With May, she gets power back again. Gets one more shot at changing Tevinter from the top down. Worst that could happen is nothing. But that's what you risk when all you rely on is hope. But with Dorian...
We could get chaos, strife. Things might get harder before they get easier. If they get easier.
I'll take my chances.
This is not helping. At all.
If I'd known you wanted help, I wouldn't have said anything.
Quinn.
What? Opinions are cheap. Sometimes you just have to go where you go.
I have faith, Rook.
Still not helpful. So what do you think?
Lenos is gone. We got information about the Venatori's plans, the god's ritual. I'd call that a good day.
I meant about Minrathous and Dorian. We all want change. Who will be the more effective in getting it?
Oh, that. You're dragging me into it?
You're the famed detective. What's the right call?
This isn't a murder.
Politics is murder. Isn't that what they always say?
Mayvaris Talani has been in this game for decades. She's dedicated and ruthless when she needs to be. Dorian Parvis is a wild card. Flashy and inventive, he'll keep his enemies on their toes. But if you're asking me,
Because Nev wants to inspire Doctown, she prefers Mayveris' aspirational approach. Okay, that makes sense. Like I said, it was sort of that conversation all over
I'd go
again.
with Mayvaris. She'll inspire people, show them that the Magisterium can be better than it is. Right now, after the gods and everything else, that's what this city needs. What we all need.
Thanks, Nev. That helps.
That's what I'm here for.
Maker. A full quarter of the Magisterium supporting a cult. Bending the knee to these risen old gods just for a taste of more power. Can they not see they're only tools for the gods? So they can destroy the world?
Demanding intelligence, rationality, and self-awareness from our peers. You ask too much, Mayvaris.
Look at me. Such a fool.
Ah, it's Rook. You spoke with the others.
What do you think? Who should be leading the charge from here on?
What happens after it's decided who'll lead?
Well, Lenos is gone, the cult's numbers are down, and they're scrambling to prepare for the god's ritual. They'll be distracted. It's a perfect opportunity to get our preparations in order.
All plans contingent on surviving the current disaster, of course.
I hope this signals the start of the change we've worked toward.
The start of the change, as you say. Things won't be different overnight.
But we'll keep fighting, because we have to, because there's no other way.
And with you and everyone here, we'll get there. We'll win. Keep believing, Rook.
Well, it would be a little bit weird, given that this is a bigger scale of almost the exact same decision I just made a little while ago with Nev. It would be a little weird if I didn't double down on the whole hope and inspiration thing. Plus, I feel like it's one of those where it won't work if you do it half-assed sort of things. Heard Ghost loud and clear, both IRL and on stream. Where did you put that crinkle ball I just pulled out for you, huh? I feel like it's one of those things where if you go half-assed, then nothing's gonna work. So I feel like I almost have to go with Mayveris. Just to, like, double down on that method of change, if that makes sense. As much as I do enjoy Dorian.
Mayvaris should lead.
I will not squander the
Wait, Davrin and Tosh approve, but not Nev. I'm confused. It was her recommendation. What the hell?
opportunity. That is my promise to you
Oh,
all.
there's.
And May will have my full support, of course, for when enemies get in our way.
They will. It is
And Harding. Laura, Lucanus, and Emmerich apparently have no opinion.
tevinter, after all.
The risen gods are still causing chaos. The people will need your voice to keep them fighting.
Oh, they will fight. This city has strength enough to stand against any so-called gods. We will win the day, and after that, we will win a brighter tevinter for all of us.
Ooh, 400 Shadow Dragon strength. Fantastic. That is absolutely enough. Celebratory dog pat. Absolutely enough to level up this merchant finally. And get new fun goodies. And then I'm gonna call it for today.